why WWE should be pushing the heckins out of Keith Lee. I am Luke Cohen. This is El Fakador Laurie Blake. Over there is Randall K. Datson, who will be taking in your super chats throughout this show. And of course, give this video a little thumbs up, leave a comment down below, join in the live chat if you are watching it live. Give this channel a subscribe if this is your first time watching us in our beautiful live glory.
Where have you been?
Where have you been? What have you been missing out on? And yeah, get involved. Now, I will say, so this was barely an episode of NXT, so this could be a very, very short episode. So if you're desperate to get a super chat in, I would get them in early doors.
This was the bubble and squeak of an NXT episode. It was just the scraps smushed together.
And this happens after every takeover.
Yep.
You get the recap show. But I'd argue that with those recap shows, there at least feels like there is some semblance of the storyline will go in this direction next. There'll be like a backstage interview where there'll be, I'm looking to do this next, or I'm going to go after this person now.
They have no idea.
And the only one we had was Io Shirai. Io Shirai goes backstage and was like, I'm not done with Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
And that was it, and they announced a tag match. But apart from that, this was a nothing happening episode of NXT.
Oh, yeah. This was very much, let's all calm down, shall we? Yeah. Calm down.
Should we calm down, even though we recorded this beforehand? Yeah. So, but we're going to talk about the first match on the show, and a guy that we've been very high on in WWE and NXT since he joined, but we were high on him before he joined as well. I was actually thinking about this today. I remember 2017 when I joined, and we'd gone to see Rev Pro, and there was a match between Keith Lee and Tomohiro Ishii. Best match I've ever seen live in my entire life. And from then on, every single question, anytime someone said, who's your favorite independent star? Who's an independent star that you would like to see in NXT? The answer was always
Keith Lee.
Keith Lee. Because he is an incredible wrestler, incredibly charismatic, just a great look to him as well. He's agile. He's all power. He is amazing. But he's been in NXT now for over a year.
Yep.
And
little has happened. Now,
he did get that injury during, unfortunately, his essentially first storyline that he had with Dominik Dijakovic, which kind of then that fell apart because they announced the rematch will happen in 3 weeks. Oh, did we say 3? So we went 5 weeks.
We meant 4 months.
We meant 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
And then Dijak got injured. So that's all completely fallen apart. So we didn't want to just title this, What's Next for Keith Lee?
No.
I'm pretty sure we've done that before.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a running joke in our office at the moment. It's hard to come up with NXT titles.
It very much is, yeah.
It's usually, what next for the Undisputed Era?
It just is, yeah. What are the Undisputed Era up to this week?
What are they doing now?
Yeah. More air guitar.
So I thought we'd talk about Keith Lee. And aside from just doing a what next, let's talk about just how great he is.
Yeah, about why they should push him. I think one of the things is that clearly he came in with a lot of fanfare around his signing, and then they just put him into a few squash matches which were fairly unremarkable in terms of like even really getting over his offense. I think the cool thing about Keith Lee is like what worked in this Kona Reeves match that he had was the fact that Kona was on top for quite a bit of it using trickery, and then when Lee fires up and starts suddenly matching someone on a level you didn't expect him to, which is usually just in terms of agility, that makes you sit up and pay attention.
Oh yeah,
because the squash match stuff was very much like there was a few bits and a few flips and a few cool little bits that he would do, but mostly it was just a power game sort of thing, and then he hits the limit breaker, gets the pin, it's all over.
Big spirit bomb.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it was when the Dijak, I'm just going to call him Dijak because I can't bother to remember how to pronounce it. When the Dijak matches started, when that happened, that was remarkable because it was two big guys just doing this crazy cruiserweight style stuff, really going at it, really going ham on it. And that was like, I think that was the match that maybe I want to see the most on a takeover is like the repeat of that match. And I was so gutted that the injuries got in the way of that happening. So I think it's time to push someone like Lee into that, probably I think into the North American title picture, because it was a shame that he was actually then used as a sort of foil for Matt Riddle for a while as well. and that sort of has kept him out of the spotlight.
Yeah, they sort of became like they were just best buds backstage for it.
Yeah.
But that then got dropped because Riddle was going off in his own direction, and Lee just then got forgotten about again.
Yeah,
He's always been the forgotten toy in the chest.
Yeah, I think it's just a sort of, I think because he's obviously very over in a face. I think he's perfectly built for the North American title picture. They clearly had plans for Ricochet to be the champion. As soon as Ricochet was the champion, there was not really anywhere for it to sort of go. It needed to be sort of face, heel, face. But Gargano's reign was clearly a storytelling aspect of using that title, and now it's on the Dream. So I don't think until Dream either fully becomes heel Velveteen Dream, I don't think Keith Lee's going to be the man to topple him.
No. But I could certainly see them, because this felt like a big, not so much a rebuilding, but like he had I would argue, his re-debut. Because I was thinking about this today when I was making up the thumbnail for this WrestleRamble. I thought to myself, like, have we had Keith Lee in like a takeover scenario? Not on a takeover show, but like on the pre-taped takeover thing they do before, the pre-show essentially they do, which they tape for TV, which is what this was. And then I was like, oh yeah, they have. Do you remember he lost to Lars Sullivan?
Yes, yeah, he
Lars
did.
Lars Sullivan in his last NXT match on the way out. Sorry, there's a fly.
There's a fly just buzzing around Luke currently.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, so he lost to Lars Sullivan.
Yes.
Out the door, and we were like, that's bad for Keith.
Yeah, that is really bad.
Really sucks for Keith Lee. And then he kind of then had his re-debut after that. He got his new music, and it just felt like he'd been given a new lease of life on the NXT brand. But even then, it was one match.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen him again up until really this point.
Yeah.
So that's a real shame. But I would say I'm hoping this time, this is like, okay, this is our third refresh now. We're going to really now start to do something with this guy.
Yep.
Give him a storyline. Maybe Dijak's going to be okay. Maybe Dijak's, I don't know what his road to recovery is at the moment. I don't know when he's going to be back. But maybe they know he's going to be back in time for TakeOver Toronto.
Yes.
So we can start doing this stuff with Lee now.
Build him up.
Rebuild Lee, so we can then get him some big wins, get him wins over Tesco's Finest, and we can have him beat some other names on TV in the coming weeks and months. Then Dijak can make his big return and be like, look, you and I have got unfinished business. And you can build then to, rather than it be like a TakeOver pre-show match, on TakeOver main card.
Yeah.
And make it like a number one contendership to the North American title, or the, because he, Dijak said he wants the North American title.
Yeah.
So maybe it could be a number one contendership for that belt. And I'm very hopeful that this is the third start for Keith Lee in NXT.
I think he's been a victim of circumstance. I think they've had, like, there was a spree in which they got a lot of big talent coming in, but they've also had dominating storylines for the last couple of years as well. That just meant that, like, a lot of the North American title was clearly just like made so they could have Ciampa and Gargano repeatedly feud for the NXT championship, and it'd be like there's still something for everyone else to do here.
Yeah.
But there still wasn't enough of something for everyone else to do, and it's that same problem that the main roster suffers from a lot. But like here, it felt more remarkable because there's so much less TV time for people to do things. So it will be 4 weeks before you see Keith Lee again. Like, if you see him once and he'll come out and have a match, and it'll be about 4 weeks before you see anything else from them because it's going to be the next set of tapings.
Yeah.
So hopefully now that we've got past that, and due to injury and stuff, we can't really revisit that. We've kind of got through the Undisputed Era stuff and all the problems that came about just from the War Raiders being lifted directly out of NXT and all the other people that have just been pinched. So hopefully the storytelling in NXT just gets back on track now. They're not scrabbling so hard to rewrite everything because someone's basically torpedoed the plans. So now's the time to build the plans for everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I imagine the rest, like all the people who weren't in title feuds, got pushed to the back of the line.
Yeah.
As soon as everything went tits up, basically.
Exactly. We just meetings be like, guys, we'll get this sorted out as soon as we can, but at the moment we've kind of like we're scrabbling to get this all ready to go.
Yeah,
and now and this is TakeOver 25 is a bit of like a clean slate, right? Let's move forward now. What are our storylines we're going to be doing for the rest of the year, and we can move forward with those. And I really hope that Keith is a part of that because, for my money, he is the most underutilized guy on the NXT roster. Absolute superstar in the making.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things where actually, if you even went to the main roster, I think he would immediately be like.
He's big as well. He's a tall dude.
It's the size thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, because I think Randy, if you could do a bit of research on this, I think he's taller than Lars. And if Lars can get a big monster push, then I'm sure Keith could as well.
So they said in the commentary in the match, Kona Reeves is 6'8".
Oh yeah, he's massive, isn't he? Yeah.
But Lee isn't far off that in terms of like height.
Yeah.
Lars Sullivan is 2 centimeters taller than Keith Lee, but it's only 2 centimeters. 2 centimeters doesn't make a lot of difference in human body height.
You say that though, but people do say that Lars is too small to be getting this monster push that he's getting. There's the comments that I've seen on our videos. Well, when me and Ollie have said he is tall, or when we've said he is big, people go, he's not that big.
The thing that helps Lars is that his arms drag along the floor when he walks.
It's the goatee. It gives him length.
Well, I think the difference is Keith Lee's monster push wouldn't be as a heel.
No.
It would be as a babyface, like, big guy.
Yeah.
And I think that it's completely different. You don't have to be a towering presence if you've also got the charisma of Keith Lee.
That's the key to it, is he's got the charisma that can get him past the, this is just a monster push where you just squash people, because he is like just dripping with charisma. He's got so much character, the way he carries himself in the ring, the way he does his entrance and everything. He just has superstar aura about him.
Yeah.
So I would like to see him stay in NXT, if only because we've seen what happens on the main roster. And so I just think, let's try and avoid that.
You don't deserve more toys.
You don't.
Don't play with the ones you've got.
You can't put Buddy Murphy on TV. You've had 8 weeks and you still can't get it.
I can't believe they're doing Buddy Murphy versus Aleister Black on like the house show circuit and we're not allowed to see it. I'm so annoyed.
Maybe we'll get it soon, but don't hold your breath. We've got to get more Shane McMahon.
If all of this, like all of the Bobbins, Aleister Black promos where he's just saying like cryptic goth stuff.
Yeah.
If that turns out to be like Buddy Murphy turns up and has a match, great. If not, I'm annoyed.
So if I could see him stay in NXT, I would like to see him get a huge push down there.
Oh yeah.
North American, get into that NXT Championship picture as well, because he would have some absolutely outstanding takeover main event matches. Like Keith Lee, Adam Cole for the NXT title. Ooh. That is a match I would absolutely love.
Keith Lee Riddle.
Yeah.
Like just as a maybe just as a sort of friendship. Like if we've already built that minor bit of story, if Riddle's the next challenger for the NXT Championship and he's the one to topple Adam Cole and win it, like Keith Lee stepping up and being like, look, since I got here, I've been in your shadow. You got here after me.
Yeah.
And you've been the one dominating the headlines and getting all the good matches, and I've been taking shots from Cassius Ohno because of you.
Yeah.
Like, that would be a cool story to do. Like, even just as a mutual respect storyline, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, let's talk about the match. It was Keith Lee versus Tesco's finest, Kona Reeves. Nigel actually teased. I don't know if he was at the start of this match. He was kind of teasing that there was some sort of union between Kona Reeves and Vanessa Bourne. He was talking about, because he bloody loves Vanessa Bourne.
Yeah,
and he was talking about, like, I don't know if Vanessa Bourne's endorsing Kona Reeves or something, or if they're going to try and tease.
Are they dating?
Maybe
She could be the manager.
Who knows? But I mean, I quite like the Bourne and Aaliyah pairing. Granted, it's going nowhere, but it's
oh yeah,
it's fine. I mean, those women's tag titles are never coming to NXT, despite the promise that they would do. Absolute.
No, they're just going to be. They're just being worn by the Iconics now.
Yeah.
They don't mean anything. Nope. Already, they mean nothing.
Yeah.
So.
The Iconics are the longest reigning women's tag team champions, and I don't think they've actually defended the belts since they won them.
They've not defended the belts, nor have they defended their own honor by winning a match.
No, they keep losing.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible.
But anyway, so Reeves starts setting the knee off a leapfrog that he does, and he uses that, but it was all a ruse. He uses that to kind of like get on top of Lee, and he works Lee over for a while. But he starts hitting Lee with these forearms. The problem is Lee is a forearm type Pokemon, so it just gave him more strength. Yeah. So Lee just stood up, like more powered up, and just starts making this comeback. And he's making this comeback while Kona Reeves is maintaining wrist control. So Kona Reeves should be dominating because he's got wrist control, but Keith Lee's too powerful.
Well, this is like it was a Greco-Roman knuckle lock, is what they were calling it. But there was a brilliant bit where they're getting this wrist lock basically, and Reeves dives through the ropes to break it up. And first of all, he goes through, and he's like halfway through, and he's like, ref. And Lee just drags him back into the ring with one pull.
Yeah.
He then goes through the ropes again, ends up on the jumps over the top and ends up on the apron on the outside, and Lee yanks him up onto the apron and then up and over into the. It's such a cool bit of theatre.
Oh yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Apparently, he's a fan of One Piece as well, which is it is a show.
Yeah,
I've heard that name.
I've heard of that. Yeah, he's a fan of Final Fantasy with his finisher called the Limit Breaker.
Yeah, it's good. Well, when he did our intro for the Prince Charles show,
Final Fantasy 7.
Such a little nerd, such a
dweeb.
dweeb Final Fantasy dork. Final Fantasy 7 is amazing. But yeah, then he hits the Limit Breaker, which is his fireman carry power slam for the win. Good showing for Lee.
I really liked this match.
Really liked it.
I thought it was a good showing for Kona Reeves.
Yeah, it was actually.
Frankly, I thought this was probably Kona Reeves' finest work.
Yeah, his
Tesco's finest.
It is, because Kona Reeves is a guy that he clearly had sort of like a big push behind him, because he had like his re-debut vignettes of being like his new gimmick, some of the finest. He got the big song entrance. He's got his big sort of jangly jewels and stuff. But they very quickly gave up on him.
Yeah.
And he is one of those guys that, and I feel this is something with NXT, particularly with that NXT audience in Full Sail. If you haven't come in with a name behind you already from the independent circuit, you have got a much harder time at getting over.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Unless you are like Velveteen Dream, who is so good. Like, you've got to be Dream level good to be able to get yourself over as a homegrown NXT
but
guy.
It's sheer force of will with some people. So I think Dreams was pure charisma. Again, it's that thing, because his ring work wasn't fantastic when he debuted, and people weren't massively into the Velveteen Dream when he was just doing the Prince thing. And then when he started talking, and it turned a bit goofy. That's when people really paid attention. It was when he took the sort of serious edge to it out.
Yeah.
Then it became more than just a Prince gimmick.
Yeah, I think Dream and Montez Ford are the two that I could think of at the moment that are sort of like these homegrown talents in NXT that are actually
Montez Ford.
Well, no, I was just I'm just trying to come up with examples of like NXT homegrown guys that haven't come in already with like your Matt Riddle level names or your Adam Cole level. I've been in ROH and I've been in PWG and this, that, and the other. But yeah, I thought it was a really, really good match. I really enjoyed it. Loved Keith Lee. Really, and I'm not the biggest Kona Reeves guy, but actually I thought he was excellent in the match.
Yeah, he was really good. I thought he was the perfect foil for Lee in this.
Absolutely.
Good heel work.
Well, that is our main topic of conversation over. Randy Datson, what's going on with
half the content on this NXT?
Hey, there were video packages. I'm sure we can... Randy, super chats, mate.
Yeah, we got a few. We'll start with XG Krampus, who says, I can see Cole holding the belt till WrestleMania next year.
Oh, was I? Oh god, a lengthy reign for Adam Cole. It's been a while since I feel we've had like a big lengthy reign. Like I know Ciampa had it for. I don't know how long. Ciampa had it from what summer, like the SummerSlam weekend.
Yeah. Aleister Black didn't have it for that long.
When did Ciampa win it?
I feel like it was quite early last year, wasn't it?
Can you do? I'll tell you what. While you do a question, I'll do some googling.
Yeah.
So there's the rumor that they were looking to pluck Adam Cole out of NXT, right? So,
yeah, so the story is, but bearing in mind, like, I'm pretty sure Meltzer has been saying that Cole has been on like the to-do list of getting a call up for the last couple of years now. So it's hard. The same with Shayna Baszler.
But it's sure he's been on that list for years now. But the difference is he's now had 2 very highly rated matches in a row.
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing that drags attention directly towards you.
Yes,
like and Johnny was in a similar position when they started doing the call-ups. Like, surely Ciampa and Gargano would have been top of the NXT list when you go like, oh, what kind of matches have they had? Oh, they've had all these like 5-star classics at various things. So,
Ciampa had it for 200.
They weren't 5 stars, but what did they get?
238 days was Ciampa's reign, which actually is quite lengthy because previous to that was Aleister Black with 102. Almas had it for 140. Drew had it for 91. Rude had it for 203. So he did have a fairly lengthy reign. It was July last year up until March when he had to vacate the belt. So he actually, so I'll take that back. He did have a lengthy reign with it. I'm not sure about Adam Cole though. But like as you say, if he's going to get called up or
Well, I feel like their storyline is what if they're going to pick it up again was leading towards him being sort of cast out on his own in some way.
But maybe as we say, I think that storyline's been dropped.
Maybe. Or maybe this is the peak of his ego.
We'll find out what happens at TakeOver Toronto because I imagine it'll be Cole Gargano 3.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Tim Arndt says, well, I liked both of the matches on this episode. The thing I liked most about the episode was Slipknot. That's not a dig at NXT. I just love metal.
Well, yeah, it's a good song actually. It's a cracking little number. It does make for a daft intro though. When
it's a bad intro.
When they're all standing in a row singing it, it does look so daft. Don't like it.
Caleb Maldonado says, any E3 predictions? Oh, as if by magic.
As if on cue.
Take it away.
We will be doing E3 predictions over on Screenstalker tomorrow afternoon in the same slot that we have the Rambles on WrestleTalk, because there's no Ramble tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. I'm not going to spoil anything that I think right now.
Good tease, though.
I also haven't really thought of it. So I'm going to sit and do some proper research and have a proper think about my predictions.
My prediction is there will be a playable version of the Final Fantasy VII remake.
That's probably true. Yeah. But it will be like the smallest slither. That game is going to take forever to
it's taken forever and a day at this point. I feel like it got announced 10 years ago.
Well, they completely revamped it, is why.
Yeah.
So, like, the latest trailer that came out on the State of Play thing the other week, the graphics are completely different.
Yeah.
So they've already just gone through one wholesale revision of the thing.
I've got to be honest, though, when I was watching that trailer, I feel like us getting way off topic was bound to happen on this episode of NXT where there was little talk about.
Got time, it's fine.
But seeing non-turn-based combat really turned me off.
Yeah.
I don't like the real-time combat.
But it was always ATB in Final Fantasy VII, wasn't it?
No, ATB was turn-based.
No, but it was like the meter fills up
you have
and
a
then
meter
you
fill
choose
up.
the weapon.
Yeah, absolutely.
You choose the thing. So
I'd much prefer that. I want them all standing in a row, and I want my baddies also standing in a row, like it's a WWE promo.
Yeah.
And I want us to
you're the television.
Exactly, and I want us all to take our turns.
Yeah, that's it.
Randy, if you say Hogs of War, mate, I will not be
actually, you know what? I wasn't actually going to, although... Laurie, remember a few months ago when we were talking about Screenstalker, I said, it's my birthday at the end of June. Maybe we could do a Hogs of War play along. And you were like, yeah, for your birthday, we can do that.
Yeah, for your birthday next year.
I will also be there for the E3 thing. I don't really know what it is, but I know it's some gaming thing. So I'll be sitting here.
Yeah.
For that.
You won't be there at E3. You're going to be sat in that chair.
We decided Andy was the best of us to send to E3. So he's going to LA.
Hi.
Are we sending Randy because it's a really boring convention to actually go to?
It is actually really dull to go to. I'm sorry.
This is your first year not going. You went last year, didn't you?
I went last year, the year before, and the year before that. Yeah,
this is your first year. Yeah, it's really boring.
I mean, admittedly, I was just sitting in a cupboard editing stuff for most of it, so I didn't really get to experience much of the convention side of things. But I've done enough conventions to know that there's a lot of queues.
Yeah, a lot of faff.
Yeah.
Anyway, chats, mate.
Yes, chats. Benny Boy says, Cultaholic are donating the money from Super Showdown stream to charity to make up for the controversial show. Will you guys be doing something similar?
Yes, we've been talking about that, yeah.
Tim Arndt says, will there be any NXT...
We don't want to make any announcements of what it's going to be yet. Yeah, we haven't talked about it.
Will there be any NXT guys at the Saudi show?
Yeah, I think so. Apparently Matt Riddle's going. There has to be. There's 50 blokes in there, and I'm hoping Zach Gibson's there because he's my pick to win. So
Zach Gibson is your pick to win.
Okay. So what I did is because I had no clue, so I took everyone from the list of WWE personnel page, removed managers, women, people who were injured, people who refused to go, put it into a random name picker online, and I got Zach Gibson. So he's my pick to win.
I picked Braun.
Yeah.
I picked Bray.
I've not picked anyone yet, actually. I haven't done my predictions. I was waiting to see what you said.
Why are people so obsessed with the idea that Matt Riddle, speaking of, we're going to have one of those later, is going to interrupt Brock?
Okay, so Riddle himself teased that he was going to be on Raw last Monday.
But he's been doing that for months.
I know, but like for whatever reason, it was this tweet made people go like, "Oh, Matt Riddle's going to debut on the main roster soon." It's like Riddle's been saying he said he was going to be at WrestleMania. It's like he said he was going to.
It's his running joke to say he's going to retire Brock Lesnar.
He's been doing this since like UFC.
Yeah.
So like it's always been Riddle's thing. So Riddle has been making a feud with Brock Lesnar.
That Brock doesn't know is happening.
Doesn't know about. So I think Heyman knows about it, but that's about it. So
Riddle really wants to concentrate on the feud he's got with Goldberg.
Yeah,
I think
it's Riddle being Riddle. So I think Matt Riddle is rumored to be in the 50-man battle royal, but I don't know if he's going to be interfering with Brock.
He's the Riddler. Tomo says, hello WrestleTalk people, I'm currently on WWE 2K19 creating Bailey Sting, which is funny because we've already had someone send us in a version of Bailey Sting.
We certainly have. I was just going to find their name.
You could do a Bailey Sting Royal Rumble with all the Bailey Stings that have been created.
I was going to say, yeah, because that'll be the third one, I think. So it is Scott Agrila sent us in his version of Bailey Sting. There's a Bailey Sting already on 2K19.
Which had a baseball bat and accompanied to the ring by Sting.
Amazing.
And now we've got another one as well.
Like the protege.
She's taken over.
Yeah.
Lee Spicer says, hello there, Luke, Laurie, and Andy. I just wanted to say I've been a fan of WrestleTalk since Challenge TV days, and your podcast helped me to relax after a long day at work. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Joe's challenge days were a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I kind of miss those challenge days sometimes. Aww. Yeah. Very, very late nights.
Look at this now.
I know, but we had like the massive big studio. I mean, it was the old studio that we were living in or working in, but we just never went down to that bit.
Infested with pigeons.
Well, even before it was infested with pigeons, it was just loud because of the pigeons. But yeah, it was fun. It was just also fun because like your nan would get excited because you're on telly.
Oh, you're on telly.
Because you're on telly, and then my mum calls like, Luke's going to be on telly if you want to tune in.
I accidentally walked.
Really, it's cute, isn't it?
I accidentally walked in the background of a news round broadcast once. That was my big moment. Job at JJ496. I got the worst anecdotes. Job at JJ496.
I feel like you could barely classify those anecdotes.
With too many NXT guys and girls going.
Barely a sentence.
Anecdotes are interesting things that you feel like you should tell people. Yours are just non sequiturs.
Sorry.
Job at JJ496 says, with too many NXT guys and girls going to the main roster and some want to come back to NXT, is this hurting NXT more? We see Triple H having to keep changing plans.
Good question. I don't know, because really, I mean, I know we've got a lot of people who may want to go. Mm-hmm. I mean, I say we know. We can speculate that people may want to go.
Yeah.
But, Tyler's the only one.
Yeah, Tyler's the only one so far.
Yeah, I think Killian Dane's done a couple of house shows and stuff, but I don't think he's fully gone back to NXT.
Yeah, I feel like you'd put it on the table, wouldn't you, as an offer to be like, maybe you can go back here. Like, I was discussing this with Simon. It was like, I think to my mind, you'd rather have them somewhere in the company than like elsewhere working for somebody else and getting that promotion over, especially seeing as AEW has shown its hand, kind of like it likes people who've left WWE talent. Like that seems to be working for them. So I think you would take people back to NXT, but I don't think you should interrupt the storylines that are already going on in NXT.
Yeah.
For the purposes of that, Breeze was lucky because it fit in. It was kind of perfect happenstance, really, that he wanted to go back at the exact time that Dijak got injured.
Yeah,
absolutely. And he was the perfect person to put in that role against Velveteen Dream because they have a similar character.
Yeah, absolutely. But really, this is a case of it's like WWE created this rod for their own back, really, which is like they've signed 1,200 people and they were like, we haven't got enough time to put them on TV. I was like, well, yeah, it's your own fault.
Yeah.
You just hoovered everyone up from the independent scene. Now you're like, well, now they're all annoyed that they can't get TV time.
But also because it's because their choice of what they do with their TV time is to do the same thing every week.
You've got to get Roman over.
I know you've got to get Roman over, but like you've also created a situation like the wildcard rule. All it is created is the ability to have the exact same matches 2 times a week, not just every week, 2 times every week.
This was my favourite week of the wildcard rule, where Ollie has been so good at like keeping track about how many 4, and it always has been 4. This week, clearly, couldn't give an F. Because there were 4 within like the first segment, and then there were like 15 during the 24/7 segment. There were more Raw guys than there were SmackDown guys on that show by the looks of things. It was awful.
Do you think that it's like following the Joey Ryan thing, who says like he's going to have to take a pay cut to go to NXT? Do you think more indie people are going to do that because like they're realizing that it's not going to NXT isn't like going to guarantee you a push?
Perhaps, yeah, but also not everyone's making Joey Ryan money.
No.
Like Joey Ryan makes so much money in the independent scene because he's Joey Ryan. Because Joey Ryan's an absolute like legend of the indie scene, but like someone else might not be. Frank the Clown isn't making more money on NXT than he would on the independent scene. Like if he went to NXT instead.
Well, exactly. Like Joey Ryan's like a merch machine as well.
Yeah.
Like he's got endless catchers. A million things you can put a dick on. I think basically is the.
But there are some people who are able to do it. Like I know Aussie Open, like they were tweeting about like how they've got like no empty dates in their calendars at the moment because they're just booked up all over the place. But you have to be like your Joey Ryan's or your Aussie Open level greatness to be able to get to that spot. But to your point, Randy, I think if people might look at the state of NXT at the moment and be like, well, I'm going to earn less by going. And I might not even make it to TV because unless my name is Matt Riddle, I can't really just walk into the door and expect to get TV time right off the bat.
Dan Padilla seems to very much disagree with that thumbnail. He says, just because he backs your channel, it doesn't make him a star. He was lackluster in his indie matches. Even Ricochet couldn't make him look good in the World Cup.
That is balderdash. That's absolutely... Oh, sorry. Well, anyway, he just said indie matches and then said the World Cup. Very different things, aren't they? Because that's a WWE match. No, I mean, his match with Dijak at PWG, Bowler, a couple of years ago. The Ishii match. This guy's incredible. It's not just... And that was actually... We were saying that before he was back in the channel. Before he said he liked the channel.
Tim Arndt says, I don't think the main roster will treat Keith well. He may have a lot of charisma, but they'll stifle all of it. Remember when Becky was red hot?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Ink5252, thank you very much for your very generous donation, but no message.
Thank you.
Kay Houston says, a bit coincidental that the first title WWE gave Moxley was the US title, and first match in New Japan, he wins the US title. Anything you did with him, we'll do better.
I don't think it's a case of that. I think it's just nice poetic poetic symmetry. I think is what it is.
It was the title that he could go for without everyone going, well, that's a bit soon to give him like the main champion.
Yeah, the US title is also the Gaijin title.
Yeah. I think it's poetic symmetry more than anything.
X Anarchy says, hello there, lads. First time super chatter. Just wanted to thank you for shafting my sleep schedule with your 2 a.m. New Zealand time streams. Well worth it though. Much love. Push Andy Datson. Heart.
Oh, well, I mean, you're welcome for us ruining your sleep pattern, I guess.
But we'll never push Andy Datson.
No. What about Randy Datson?
No, not that guy either.
I hate that guy.
Michael Dominguez.
I like him more than Ryback does.
Yeah.
Or Ryback or Mincy.
I'm a disgrace to humankind. Massive thumb that he is.
This is such a good feud because Randy's going to get killed one of these days.
Michael
he's going to kill you with
Dominguez,
brain power or whatever he does.
who is our resident...
That's it, protein pills. That's it. Others like brain pills.
Going to be like pouring it in, like that sand trap in the old
Feed you
in
more.
the Egyptian tombs.
Michael Dominguez, who is our resident teacher, who's pleased to not be teaching at the moment, says, hey, Wrestle Friends, fancy booking Hart Foundation versus Undisputed Era, Brett versus Cole, Bulldog versus and Anvil versus Red Dragon, Owen versus Strong, Texas, love y'all. I think he probably means if we could rewind about 25 years.
Absolutely, yeah. If you could do a bit of like time travel stuff, that'd be great. Yeah. Two good factions going against each other. There's a lot of like faction warfare that you could do if you had like a time machine and could go back and do things.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You could do all of it.
Welcoming committee.
Like I'd love because they were at very different times, but like the DX that people remember from the 99-2000 versus that 97 Hart Foundation era. I think that'd be great.
Oh, well, I'd love to see Undisputed Era versus that DX.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like they're very good mirrors.
Josh Saloom says, hey, gents, sorry I was late, but here's an extra $10 for missing it.
Oh, I mean, don't apologise. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You.
Dustin Pylon says, put Riker in the Lee/Dijakovic feud. Support WrestleTalk TV.
So curious to see what they're going to do with Jackson Riker in the next set of tapings because they're putting him over so strong.
He's so vascular.
Like it took 6 men or whatever it was to put him down.
His inclusion in that ladder match was brilliant.
It was so good.
Like I think they've finally clocked what to do with the Forgotten Sons.
Yeah.
Like, it took them a while, but I think they've really twigged of like this is what they should be like.
I actually really like them now.
I really like them. Yeah. I think it was a slow burn, I think, because also it's a lazy gimmick.
Yeah.
It is like Biker Gang is like even the Undertaker did that. Like you know what I mean? Like that was like the I don't want to be the dead man anymore. Yeah. I'm gonna be Biker Gang.
I want to chew some tobacco while I do promo.
Yeah, it is just overdone in wrestling, I think, to be sort of tough denim guy.
I just didn't like their ring gear when they're kind of weird red stuff. Anyway. Yeah. Ed Fries and Nicholas Belgraf, thank you very much for your donations. Matthew Kennison says, how much do you think terrible Raws and SmackDown help WrestleTalk viewership? Support WrestleTalk. They suffer through it, so we don't have to.
You say help, but I think it hinders. We've noticed that there is a correlation between low Raw ratings and low viewership on Raw reviews, and the same with SmackDown as well. Like SmackDown reviews always do less views than a Raw one does because less people watch SmackDown than they do Raw.
Yeah.
So if WWE numbers tank, then our numbers tank too. So
I think realistically, people want to celebrate good stuff more than they want to bemoan rubbish stuff.
Yeah, I said on SmackDown's episode, it was an hour and a half of two white guys moaning. It was you could watch that on any other YouTube video. I don't think you need to come to us specifically to see that.
ZM Inc., thank you very much for your donation. Juan Gabriel says, imagine Keith Lee in a ladder match with how athletic he is. Also, I'm the third Randy Watson fan. And he sent another one saying, damn it, I meant Datsun. But also, the last thing, not a super chat, but I noticed that someone called Sebastian Bonilla Karstens said that it is his birthday today.
Aww.
So I thought we would say happy birthday to Sebastian.
Happy birthday, Sebastian.
That is it for now.
It's your birthday.
I don't think he's a lobster, but he might be, in which case.
I think he was a crab.
Yeah, he is a crab.
Yeah.
It's weird. I know all it is, that song.
I thought Sebastian was a crab.
Ariel.
In fairness, I have only seen The Little Mermaid once. So I've seen Sebastian more in his cameo in Aladdin than I have in the film he's a part of.
He is an anthropomorphic crab.
Oh, he's a crab.
He's crabs.
Nailed it.
Smashed it.
Should we talk about NXT?
Yeah, let's get back to NXT quickly.
Right, well, this shouldn't take long. It was a video recap at the top of the show for NXT TakeOver 25. Good show. Then we got the Keith Lee Kona Reeves match. Then we got a video package for Shayna Baszler versus Io Shirai, and we see Io leaving after the match, and there's sort of like a backstage thing where they go into this throughout the night where you get like interviews with the winners, but you didn't get an interview with Baszler. You got Io just storming past. Shannon, she's not done with Baszler yet, and Candice is walking behind her. You know,
Candice is walking behind her, being like, "Yet again, third wheel and another feud. Damn it!"
And they announced a tag match for next week, I believe, which is Io Shirai and Candice LeRae versus Duke and Shafir. So at least they'll pick up an easy win.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They ain't losing that match. Then we got a video package for the tag team ladder match. Still, my heart says it was the best match of the night.
It was really fun.
Loved it so much. And we see our winners, the Street Profits, walking backstage after winning. Hard work, dedication is what got them.
Hard work, dedication.
Hard work, dedication.
Hard work, dedication.
It's what got them to this point. And then in a very nice moment, they put over the camera guy. So this camera guy's been with us since day one. He's been filming all of our promos. And they pass the camera over to someone else. And they say, we're going to go party with this guy now. But he's wearing a Matt Riddle t-shirt. They're like, hey, we're going to get you some better merchandise than this.
That's fun.
It was fun. It was very sweet. Street Profits are awesome.
They are really good.
Then we got a video package for the Velveteen Dream versus Tyler Breeze, and Breeze is interviewed backstage where, amazingly, he said virtually nothing, but did say, I am in NXT now.
Yes, yeah. It was so weird.
It's the most nothing promo.
3 times just went, yeah, I'm in NXT now.
Yeah, I'm here now. Yeah. There's a locker room.
But he still said that thing that we were saying on the review, was like, he said he earned my respect. He basically cheated to win.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. I thought it'd be a more fired up Breeze and being like, I had that match won.
Yeah.
And if Dream hadn't done his shenanigans.
Because he said it was close, and he should
this could have swung in either direction.
Yeah, this should have been the point to say, like, it was really close, and he clinched it at the end, and I think using distraction. Yeah. I want another match.
Yeah.
Or clearly that's not what they I guess now they're just like, they're not going to do another match.
It's a bit of a shame.
So, yeah. I think
there's stories to be told, left on the table there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
He also had a really bloodied up ear as well. He had like dried blood all around it. Then we got a video package with Damian Priest, and a gimmick I was not expecting. You hear the name Damian Priest and you see Punishment Martinez, you're like, oh, satanic gimmick. I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
No, he's like a party guy. He goes into nightclubs and stuff.
I think he's one of the nightclub vampires from Blade. That's what I think.
Like the Matrix.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Go listen to Dance Remix of Rob Zombie.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Maybe that's what it is.
Nightclub guy.
Nightclub vampire, Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we got another match here. It's Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair. This was good. Crowd went into this, though.
No.
And it's surprising that the crowd went into it, considering how hot they were for Keith Lee.
They were massively into him, yeah.
Massively into the Keith Lee Kona Reeves match, like really booing Kona Reeves as well. So I think they were really
huge, like, oh, bask in his glory.
Super into sort of both guys, both positive and negative. And I think that they were into Yim and Belair when they came out, particularly Belair. She got a great reaction when she came out. But the match sort of died a death in terms of crowd noise.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, this is only the second match that this crowd would have seen.
Well, it might have been it's a taping, so it could have been like 3 hours later.
No, I think this was all before TakeOver started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because we'd been tweeted about it.
Oh, the dark matches.
Yeah, the dark matches,
yeah.
So yeah, it was a bit of a shame that the crowd went massively into it.
I guess it was probably like looking at your watch and going like, well, the main show is going to start in
toilet break.
about 15 minutes. So I'll go to the toilet, go to the bar, and then I'll come back.
Maybe, yeah.
Just victim of the need for beer.
But Yim got the better early, and then Belair starts using her power. Got an abdominal stretch spot, which is always good in 2019. Love an abdominal stretch spot. I really like Mia Yim's selling. I'm a big fan of her.
Yes,
selling.
she's very good.
She's really good at that.
I liked the opening was very smartly done, where it was like it was a game of one-upmanship of like first it was power, then it was I know you so well, I'm going to dodge this thing, but then you're going to hit this, and this is surprising. There was a lot of back and forth in the early going. Then Belair powers up, starts to dominate. Then she gets cocky, and that's when Mia Yim fires back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very well done.
And actually at one point Belair hit this German suplex that. Is this the one that you rewound?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she did hit this German suplex where Yim did a full flip and landed right on her head. Oof, gross.
I think it was good. It was very good editing. I think she was safe. But
yeah.
When I watched it back, I was like, oh my God. Like, the cut at the perfect moment, just as she's like, it looks like she's about to crunch her head up.
Yeah. You can almost hear Nigel on commentary go, that was gross.
She's dead.
She's dead. Oh no. And I like they sort of riffed off the previous finish as well, which was when Belair went up for the powerbomb, but Yim grabs her by the braid and was able then to use that to hit protect your neck. So Belair this time tied her hair up.
Yes.
So that she wouldn't get that. But instead, Yim still managed to get out and lock in a guillotine and then hit a top rope protect your neck for the win.
Yes. So that's
decent.
Mia Yim getting a push, I believe.
It is indeed, yes. That's 2 wins over the undefeated Bianca Belair. But like Belair doesn't seem like the sort of character that would take that lying down.
No,
but I don't know if you want to build to a 4th match between these two.
Well, it depends, and also because it feels like they're already doing the women's title stuff. So I don't know what they're doing with Yim now off the back of this. There's nothing for her to do. Aaliyah, yeah, just hundreds of Aaliyah every week. We've got loads of them lying around.
Bring her out again.
We got a bulk order of these back in 1995, and now we need to use them. We're going off next week.
Then we got a recap of a match that didn't happen at TakeOver, but happened last week, which was Kushida versus Drew Gulak. And then Kathy Kelly interviews Gulak backstage, where he said, people keep telling me that Kushida's the best submission guy in WWE, but they're wrong. Because I'm the best submission guy in WWE. He's nothing but a Back to the Future cosplayer. And we all know that Biff is the best character. Like, Biff's the true hero of that show.
I loved Gulak in this. I thought he was great.
Gulak was great. I like this as well, that he said that he claims he's the best submission guy. Yet he pinned me. He had the audacity to pin me. Oh, well, I'm not having that. And it challenges Kushida to a submissions match, which Kushida accepted on Twitter.
That's great.
So that's also next week. Next week, stacked old show.
It's really good.
Because we've got the tag match of Io Shirai and Candice LeRae versus the Horsewomen. We've also got Kushida versus Drew Gulak in a submission match. And Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch versus the Undisputed Era.
Of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong.
Yeah, because they announced that that Fish is injured. He hurt his arm. So Strong is filling in for the poor old Bubbles Fish.
I know.
I feel really bad for him.
He'd just come back as well.
I know. And then at the end of the show, we got a video recap of Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano. And that was the show. So we breezed through that.
Yeah.
We Tyler breezed through that show.
Absolutely Tylered it.
Absolutely Tylered it. But it was, the 2 matches that we got were fun.
They were very fun.
Very fun, particularly the Keith Lee Kona Reeves match. I would certainly go out of your way to watch that. And if you didn't watch TakeOver 25, A, what are you doing? But B, you at least watch the recap packages.
Yeah. Watch the show because it was fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm super looking forward to next week's show.
Yeah,
those 3 matches are great.
It weirdly did well to set up future NXT as an exciting proposition, but mostly just through naming things. Going, this has happened, this.
Yeah.
But there's no, it feels like there is no story to speak of going forward from. I don't know what's going to happen with NXT, which is both exciting and also, I think, for something that feels so like planned out, generally speaking. Kind of a bit like, this feels like one of the first times that I'm not really sure what's happening.
Yeah, I completely agree. The TV tapings are then next week, aren't they? They haven't happened already. Yes, next week. But anyway, that was the show. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, very good.
Do we have any more super chats, Randy?
We have some. We have Jer Personen. Says, thank you, Luke.
I think that was he emailed into the podcast looking for advice on quitting smoking, which I have done in the past. But I'm as I said on the podcast,
Luke's back on it now, though.
Yeah, I'm a terrible smoker now. But I said I'm fortunate in the fact that I don't really have an addictive personality. So when I decided that I was going to quit, I literally just I'm stopping now.
Stop buying them.
Yeah, just stop buying them and I stop having them. And I don't really get cravings for them either, even though I smoke quite heavily.
Just get addicted to something else, you know.
I got addicted to you, mate. That was why I swapped smoking for you instead.
Happenable ragging on him.
Says, who will run NXT when Triple H takes over the main roster?
I think he's grooming people for that. I think that's what he's got his little crew down there for.
Jason
his little
Jordan.
Could be Jason Jordan, you know, like he's trained to be a producer, but like I think Triple H has got his little crew of people. He's got his what's your lad from TNA, Borash. I could see Jeremy Borash doing some stuff down there. I think that's why he's brought in people like Abyss and Greg Helms and things like that. So I could see them like putting together a crew of people that could run that show.
I think it's going to be like
Stephanie.
I just don't think he's going to like
Daniel
give it up
Bryan.
completely.
Oh, right.
He's going to stay. It's his baby. It's like, you know, he'll be constantly hovering.
He will move.
Helicopter dad is what he'll be.
He will move into that Vince McMahon role where Vince McMahon quite famously he sleeps for about 2 to 3 hours a day, and even then he's probably working in his head. And he hates sleeping because it's time away from doing the job.
He's a nut job.
Absolutely, yeah. So I almost feel if Triple H is going to like spread himself across doing main roster stuff and NXT,
Hates his beard.
He is
winning.
What about William Regal?
Chili Willie Regal is a great shout for a guy to just continue running that ship. I mean, he's a talent scout for WWE anyway, so yeah, I think he.
And he already knows what's going on. You know,
Yeah.
He's like completely involved. So.
Fine job. Jobber JJ says, with Triple H as a wrestler refusing to do the job, why isn't he putting up more of a fight against Vince and to protect wrestlers and characters?
Vince has got the final say.
Yeah.
I'd imagine Triple H is putting.
He doesn't want to get sacked before he becomes.
Well, no, I don't think it's
CEO.
his case.
Well, you don't want to get sacked. It's also Vince is his stepdad.
I think he's putting up this fight.
It's not stepdad, you know what I mean? His father-in-law.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's actually about even more than just your job, isn't it? Like you know, because if he can't quit, he basically can't quit his job because it's also partly quitting his life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like. I would imagine, based on especially the stuff that Wade Keller was reporting, that the writers have been telling him, and like a lot of other writers sort of like not come out and said, but have spoken privately to people. I think Triple H is putting up these fights and is arguing the case for A, NXT call-ups, but B, let's try and protect them, let's try and make wins and losses matter. But Vince is set in his ways, and Vince gets final say, so there's only so much protesting you can do.
Like we said as well, it's not like the only punishment they're having for all of this nonsense is low ratings. Comparative to and there's still high ratings in terms of what's going on overall in America. So
like the top 10 things.
It's still like one of the top 10 things watched. It's just not as good as they have been.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, they're making loads of money, selling loads of merchandise. People are watching the pay-per-views and stuff. So it's, I don't know, there's no reason to change anything because it's kind of working in a roundabout. Maybe you shouldn't be proud of it working this way, but it is working.
That's probably why Vince is thinking like, "Hey, I'm a genius. It's working.
Yeah, we can make rubbish and people will not watch it, but we'll get paid loads of money.
Still got that Fox deal.
That's like the ideal dream, isn't it? You don't do anything and you get money.
Vince McMahon's essentially Boris Johnson, just failed upwards. He's going to be Prime Minister soon.
Josh says El Fakador, the true alternative to Ollie Davis.
That's correct.
That's actually what you've got tattooed on your bottom. Isn't it?
How do you know? Perv.
Juan Gabriel says, June the 1st was my birthday and I got to watch TakeOver 25, WrestleTalk News and the Ramble podcast. Best birthday in years. Thanks for being my second family.
Oh, we are very, very welcome. Thank you for your kind words.
Yes.
I'm glad you enjoyed all of those shows. The show that me and Ollie did was broadly fine.
Stod123 says Tyler Breeze versus Adam Cole.
Baby. I mean, to be honest, at this point, you could put Adam Cole in with Kona Reeves and I'd be like, I'm in for it, mate. Absolutely, I'm totally there.
Jeb Sonnen says, will they ever use Chelsea Green?
She's injured, I believe. She broke her hand. As soon as she as soon as she started doing the house show, she broke her hand. So I think she still might be out.
She should be back very soon.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's at this set of tapings or at least the next set of tapings.
And finally, Jobber JJ says, if I face Lesnar, how long would you think I'd last?
That's all depending on Brock, I suppose.
It depends on how long he wants to wait until he pins you.
Exactly, yeah. It could be
Depends
one German suplex.
Oh, no, we got another one.
You could be in Suplex City for a night.
Yeah, an overnight stay.
Yeah.
And
check breakfast.
Check into a motel.
Yeah.
Pizza Slice has just got in here to say, you know who's really got the worst deal in WWE right now? Kevin Owens. He has to put up with Vince and his insanity until 2023. #3 free Kevin Steen.
Yeah. Well, Vince might get distracted next year, go to the XFL. Like, that's, Vince might go to the XFL.
Well, Kevin Owens at least re-debuted top of the ranks in SmackDown,
It didn't last long.
Yeah, it didn't last long, but he still came back
Yeah.
high up, and he's obviously on that list of people that can fill a spot. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess sort of hope someone else drops out of something.
Yeah, maybe. But as I said, things might change next year. 2020 could be a very drastically different picture for WWE because that's when we will get the launch of the XFL. And, Pritchard has gone on record saying that Vince's biggest mistake in his own mind that he made during the first run of the XFL was that he was splitting his time between WWE and the XFL. So there is every chance that Vince is going to put all of his focus back onto it and then have sort of a cursory glance over WWE. Or that might mean that he has got even less doing with WWE, but still has final say on everything. And
it could be. It could go epic. It could be amazing.
Could be amazing, or it could go terribly worse.
But then you could just say, yes, Vince, sure, and then put the live show out the way you want to do it.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said no.
Oh,
I
sorry,
thought you signed
man.
off this version.
Well, we'll sort it out for next week.
Do you know what? Teething issues.
See you on Monday. See you on Monday afternoon.
But that is all we've got time for on this edition of the WrestleRamble. If you are watching this on the catch-up version of the show, there are videos that have just appeared on the desk, so click those. And also click this button right here.
We've got Patreon shout-outs.
Sorry? Oh, you're absolutely right. We've got some Patreon shout-outs. Good shout, Dasson. That's why you're here, mate. It's time to do some Patreon shout-outs before we get out of here. You can tell that I'm going on holiday next week. I'm giving up, basically. I'm already in holiday mode.
Okay, bye-bye then.
Okay, toodaloo.
He's wearing jelly shoes.
I'd never wear jelly shoes. Gross. But anyway, we've got to give us some $25 shout-outs to our Patreon pledge hammers. Make sure you're also getting involved with Wrestle League if you are one of our Patreon pledge hammers. And if you are one of our $25 and above, you get your own little personal shout-out like this one. Damian Wayne Wilson Fisk.
Hey.
I trust you as Sam Farah as I can throw you.
Have a cup of tea, Lee.
Caught in a Travis Webb.
We're going on a Brian Huntley.
Charlie, drink it in, Z-Man.
King George Phillips.
I'm pushing my chair really far this way. The
hard.
perfect storm, Noah Tromley.
There can only be one, our legend.
Robert Spencer. Period.
Michael, Sands of Time.
And finally, John Secret Santos.
That is all we have got time for on this broadcast of the show. If you're now watching it on catch-up, there are videos that have just appeared on the desk and a button right here that will take you all the way across to Patreon, where you can become one of our pledge hammers. Get yourself a shout-out, get yourself involved in Wrestle League, try and win Laurie Blake's awesome trophy. I've been Luke Owen, this is Pin Out Fake Door Laurie Blake, that was Randy Andy Datson, I'm falling apart, and that, we're rambling.